So after trying the DeWalt earbuds from Lowe's, hundreds of people told me to try the Milwaukee earbuds from Home Depot. And at first I thought there's no way these could actually be good. Once again, these are made by a power tool brand. Milwaukee makes drills and saws. But then I Googled them, and honestly, I'm really intrigued. These look so interesting, and I thought about it, and Milwaukee makes battery-powered tools. So maybe these have some really interesting battery tech. Plus, they're literally marketed as Jobsite earbuds, so they pretty much need to have excellent noise cancellation, a really secure fit, good controls, and they probably have a lot of other interesting features that you just won't find on other earbuds out there. Obviously, I had to find out. I wanted to test these, and the only option was to drive to Home Depot and see if these were also sold out. All right, so I checked Home Depot's website. Allegedly, they have 4 of them in stock here, but I also saw they have a combo as well where you can get like the neck flashlight with the earbuds, and it looked like a spare battery. So I'm kind of wondering if these have a replaceable battery in the case, which would be really neat. Sweet, there they are. Fortunately, I need a combo to get them. So I'm gonna have to find someone. All right, so I got the earbuds. They were, after it's all said and done, $189.79. That is a very competitive space. There's a lot of earbuds around that price. First impressions though, the case is way larger than I expected, and I thought this was really interesting. On the back, you can see they have an NRR, a noise reduction rating of 25 with the silicone ear tips. So I imagine if you put the foam ear tips on, which it says it does come with foam ear tips, then they should probably have an even higher noise reduction rating. So that could be great for using power tools or whatever on a type of job site. So let's get these open and see what they look like. And by the way, I know people are gonna comment, you know, a lot of job sites might not allow earbuds. Maybe these are more for like home projects. I don't know. You can comment and let me know where you would even use these, but we have a quick start guide inside. So pretty neat. I'll talk more about that noise reduction curve in a minute. We also have a full paper manual. How rare is that? Nobody gives you a paper manual anymore. I assume that's probably because I bet these don't come with an app. I'll test that in a second, but then inside we've got our USB Type-C charging cable here. This looks fairly short. Let's see, it is, it's probably only about 18 inches long, but on one end we've got USB Type-C, and on the other end, you have a USB Type-A, so you can charge it on the wall. It's pretty nice braided cable though. I actually do appreciate the quality there. We've got 2 little bags here. It looks like we get 3 different sizes of wingtips, plus probably 1 already on the earbuds, so 4 different sizes. And these will go in your ear, like kind of above your ear, to hold the earbuds in place so they don't fall out. And in the other bag, you have 2 different sizes of foam ear tips and 3 different sizes of silicone ear tips. The silicone ear tips, I'll get some close-up B-roll. They are not only like a double flange, which is pretty nice, probably good noise reduction due to that, but also they have a little cross hatching on the top to block earwax from getting inside and clogging these. Also, I imagine the 3rd pair of foam ear tips is probably already on the earbuds, but that brings us to the earbuds themselves. So the case, like I said, pretty large. Looking at it on the outside, you have a latch on the bottom, so if you drop these, you probably won't have to worry about them like spilling out all over, so I think they're gonna be pretty durable from that aspect. We've got a hinge you can see on both sides, and to open them, you pull on this bottom lever and you're able to lift it up. Oh, look at that. On the inside, they tell us the controls for the earbuds, so you don't need to try to memorize all the controls. They show you the left and the right. Presumably, again, that means there's almost definitely not an app for these. Okay, this is so cool. Something I've never seen on another pair of earbuds is between the 2 earbuds, we've got those 2 little pegs there, and those pegs are actually for earbud tips. So if you have 2 different sizes, or you just want a spare pair, or if you want to alternate between silicone and foam tips, you can have that second pair stored in the case. Otherwise, most earbuds, I just have them like up in my attic. I never use the other earbud tips, but that's so helpful to have right there. Other things with the case, we've got an LED light on the side that shows us the indicator of the battery level. And if we lift up this little flap right there, we have our USB Type-C charging port. On the other side, we have this thing that turns, let's see, I think this is probably gonna be our battery up here. All right, so the cap does come off, and yeah, just like I thought. So this is actually really cool. You have a replaceable battery in the earbuds case. That's good for longevity, and it's also good if you are traveling or if you're on a job site and you don't have access to like an outlet. You could just have several of these and you're able to swap them out. Even though the battery life on the earbuds is 10 hours in the earbuds and 70 hours when you include the case. That is enormous. For reference, AirPods, when you include the case, are about 20 to 24 hours. So this is almost triple the battery life of AirPods. And like I said, you're able to swap it out just like that really easily. So other Milwaukee products probably have the same battery if you get like the neck flashlight like I talked about before. I'm sure there's other ones as well. So let's take a look at the earbuds. You can see, oh, they have little LED ring lights on them. So this one's yellow, that one's red. That is the battery level of them. And it shows us that on the back here, this little sticker, what the lights mean and what the battery level actually is. All right, so these have been charging for a little bit. You can see the light is green on the side. Let's take them out. We have yellow there. So these are, what is that going to be like? Maybe 30, 40% charged at least. Let's see, we should be getting blue lights on these. It looks like one of them blinks blue. Let's see if I can pair with them. And you can see right there, we've got the red lithium USB Jobsite earbuds. All right, now the left one is the only one that lit up right there. So let's put it in. Let's put in the right one. I'm compressing the foam, by the way, kind of like you would with any kind of earplugs. All right, so it worked. They're both on right now. Let's see if we can use it one at a time in mono mode. I'll take out the right one first and put it in the case, see if it plays the music. All right, the music is still playing, so we can definitely listen with at least just the left. Let's see if we can listen with just the right. All right, now it's playing in both. Take the left one out, put it in the case. And yeah, it looks like these do have mono mode. You can listen to just one at a time, which is pretty great. They do not seem to have ear detection. So if I take them out of my ears, the music does not pause. I actually really appreciate that the controls are physical buttons. So if you're wearing gloves, if your hands are wet, or whatever the situation is, buttons are just always very reliable. Oh, it looks like I just turned on the, what they call Jobsite Aware. So I can hear everything now. Something surprising about these earbuds is that they don't actually have active noise cancellation. The Jobsite Aware mode is essentially just a transparency mode that is adaptive with a decibel limiter, so it's not reproducing any loud sounds from the outside in. So you can hear surroundings without blowing your ears out. The only blocking then of sounds is passive noise blocking. Because these are foam ear tips, they do a lot, and the silicone ones actually do quite a bit as well. So I think for most power tool usage, that's perfectly fine. If you're traveling with these, they should be blocking a lot of sounds around you. But it's not going to be the same as active noise cancellation as you're getting on some of the $300 or $400 earbuds out there. That said, this is probably the best passive noise blocking I've seen on earbuds. It sounds a little bit compressed. There's definitely a lot of white noise there. It's definitely not the highest quality transparency, but I mean, I can hear everything. It all sounds like it's there. All right, let's go through the different levels of it. All right, so it's a little bit quieter now. If you double press the left button. All right, so there's 3 different levels of this kind of Jobsite Aware transparency. I guess the next thing to do is to actually cut some boards and see how it blocks that sound. So after testing the Jobsite Aware mode, just like running a gas engine outside basically, it was really interesting. So when you have no ambient sound, like no engines running or saws running, you're able to hear everything around you like a transparency mode. And then I thought as I turned the ambient sound up, like firing up an engine, I thought it would kind of get louder, but it interestingly adjusted and had a very constant volume. So I feel like this could be really helpful if you're trying to, listen to music and also protect your hearing, but also be able to hear if somebody yelled stop or, some other thing was happening. This could actually be a pretty good way to do that. The 3 different levels of Jobsite awareness, I was just on the lowest one. I thought that was just fine, but if you need to be more sensitive to ambient sounds, maybe you could go up to level 2 or level 3. But if you don't want to hear anything around you, or for example, if it's windy, the Jobsite awareness does pick up some wind. There's a little bit of wind noise going on. So if you just turn that off, then you do just get basically earplugs is what it would be. And you're still able to listen to music, which again is a pretty nice function to have. As far as the controls go on the right side, you've got single press to play pause, double press to skip forward, triple press to go back a song, but you don't have any way to control the volume on the earbuds. You definitely have to use your phone, so your phone has to be pretty close for that. Let's get into a microphone test. So this is the microphone quality on the Milwaukee Red Lithium, what's the name of these? The Milwaukee Red Lithium USB Bluetooth Jobsite earbuds. Definitely a long name, but let me know how the microphone sounds if you had to answer a call. But let's go to a louder environment and see how it performed if you had a lot of ambient sounds. All right, so microphone test. Got a weed whacker here. Let me know if you can hear what I'm saying. It's just idling right now. Let's see if we go higher. It's really hard to hear me now. I'd be impressed if the microphone can pick this up. And then for reference, this is what it sounds like when it's off. Let me know how those microphones performed. It's also kind of breezy out here. That's worth mentioning. So wind management would be another aspect of these earbuds. If you're on a call in a job site, that is. As far as the sound quality goes on these, I'm not going to go into a really deep analysis because I don't think anyone's buying these just for sound quality. But in summary, they're not bad. Like, they're okay, but they're not really competitive with this price point. These definitely sound a bit thinner. They lack a lot of the detail that I would be looking for in earbuds around the $200 price point, and they actually don't really get that loud. It's kind of surprising how much I have to turn the volume up. Normally I listen to most earbuds at about 40 to 50% volume, and with these I'm at about 75 to 80% volume, and it doesn't sound that loud. There is a Milwaukee app, but that's not gonna be useful for controlling these earbuds, which some people might consider a positive, that you don't need to download another app to manage your earbuds. I would consider it a bit of a negative, especially at this price, because you don't ever have to download an app for earbuds, but it's nice to be able to customize them and tweak some settings. You can't do that with these. Yeah, so as I suspected, the foam ear tips have a higher NRR, 26 versus 25. These say they have water and dust resistance, but I have not seen an IP rating, so I wouldn't really want to drop these in water. But as far as fit and comfort go on these earbuds, I mentioned that you have these different wingtip sizes, so I really do appreciate that they are there to help keep them in your ears, especially if you're working. Like, you don't want these falling out and rolling away. It could be a danger to have that. But the fit and the comfort of them, they are definitely very comfortable if you find the right ear tip size. Between the foam and the silicone ear tips, I think it comes as no surprise. The foam ones are a little bit more tedious to put in your ears, like you have to kind of compress it and then put it in your ears. The silicone ones, you just slide right in, so if you have to take your earbuds out and put them back in a lot, I would definitely prefer the silicone. The foam ones can also get a bit hotter in your ears and have a little bit more of compression you can feel, but they definitely block a lot more sound in my opinion. Let's just do a head shake test. Yeah, these don't even move. There's really nothing that I would be worried about for them falling out. So let's get into some pros and cons of these earbuds. Starting off with the positives, I love that there is that removable battery on the side, so you're able to just pull that out, swap it out if you need to, and I think that's also great for longevity. If the battery stops working or just gets old, you can swap it out with a new one at any time. I also love that there's a physical latch, so if you drop these, it's not some little magnet. They're not gonna fling out and fly all over the place. I also absolutely love that there are additional ear tip spots inside the case, and I think it's smart to have the controls right there, so you're always reminded of what the controls actually are. I think that the earbuds themselves are very comfortable. I like that we have silicone and foam ear tips. I love the wingtips on there as well, so they're customizable for anybody's ear, and the physical buttons are a great idea. Plus, the little LED ring around there, as long as it's not lighting up while I'm wearing them, I actually really like that to show me the battery life. I think it's pretty sleek the way they did that. And the downsides, this case is absolutely enormous, so pocketability is not going to be great, but because there is no app, there is no Find My feature that you can use your phone to locate these, so the large case kind of ends up being a positive there. It's a large red box, and it's gonna be a lot harder to lose this on a job site. I also think the earbuds should be quite durable. Looking at them, I would not expect these to take on a lot of damage, and I imagine people using these on a job site or, their home shop or whatever probably would be pretty rough on them from dust and, dropping them, and like if you're welding or cutting metal or whatever and these are sitting around, sparks hitting them, maybe could melt the plastic a little bit, but they look like they would be a pretty durable pair of earbuds. I think the job site awareness is also a really cool feature. It's a little bit of a downside. There is no active noise cancellation, and while a noise reduction rating of 25 or 26 might sound really high, I usually buy earplugs that are NRR 29 or even 33. So depending on what kind of job you're doing, these could definitely be enough to protect your hearing. No matter what, they will do something better than not wearing any earplugs, but there is a possibility that they might not be sufficient if you're working in a really loud environment. But one more drawback to these is I think it depends on where you're going to be using them. For the person just mowing their lawn or working in your garage, this makes perfect sense. For some job sites, this could make sense, but if you're a contractor, leave a comment below and let me know. A lot of job sites, I would imagine, you're gonna have like the safety guy coming over and yelling at you for wearing earbuds. I could be wrong, but I think it's gonna be job site dependent if you're actually going to be able to use these. Hey boss, you mind if I listen to music? Fine by me.
In this tutorial, I'll show you how to use a bubble level for absolute beginners. In the middle, you should see a small bubble.